everyone. So I'm still getting a lot of questions on how much protein should I eat? Why is it so important to buy grass-fed? What's wrong with having a really high protein diet? Lots of questions coming in because we've been going through the Brain Warriors way and teaching you sort of how to put a plate together. So I'm going to go through a couple of things here and just point some stuff out. Most of you don't carry a scale around with you to measure your protein, because I can tell you how much to eat in grams and you're going to go like, what? Well, I don't know what that means, and I'm never at home measuring protein, right? So to give you an idea of what it looks like, I want you to just think of shaking hands with protein, the palm of your hand, right? So we want you to focus on not your whole hand, the size of your whole hand, but the size of the palm of your hand and about the same thickness. You can't go this round and then like that thick, right? So about that big. Or the size of, say, you know the size of a 2 to 3 ounce can of tuna, whatever that small size is, the pop top ones, that's the size. Now, do I want you going and buying those? No, I'm just using that for a size example. But what I want you to think of is shaking hands with protein, because you're not home, you're not there measuring out your protein, and that's a really good way to imagine how much to eat at one time. And then how often would be at least 3 times a day. Okay, so if you get anywhere from 15 to 30 grams, depending on your size, because there's someone this big, bodybuilding guy that's, you know, it might end up being closer to 30 grams. Someone my size or even smaller is going to be closer to 15 grams is enough. What we want you to think about is having it in small doses throughout the day, like medicine, right? You'd never take all of your medicine at once if it was scheduled to be taken in 6 doses throughout the day or 4 doses throughout the day, because it doesn't work that way. It's not how you get the optimal amount of benefit from it. So what we want you to think of is, think of it like medicine, because it helps your body rebuild, it helps to balance the hormones of metabolism, helps to balance blood sugar, helps to increase focus, does all of these good things. But if you have too much protein, now here comes the high protein question, because a lot of people are like, why can't I just have a high protein diet? I like high protein diets. It's not that we don't want you having a high protein diet, it's that too much protein at one time can increase oxidative stress. That's what the studies show. Think of rust on a car. So what ends up happening when that rust sort of forms, that's what sort of happens in your body. It affects your DNA. So we don't want to be, you know, sort of wearing out your system and affecting your stress hormones and DNA and all of that stuff. We want you to get the benefit from it without burdening your body. And your body has to eliminate all of that, right? So it's harder to eliminate. So small doses throughout the day. And we also want you to think of, 15 to 30 grams and small doses. Now, if you're a vegan, just focus on vegan sources of protein, you know, plant-based protein powders, a little bit of organic tofu, or what's the other one? Not seitan. I don't like using seitan because that's got gluten in it. Anyways, you'll tell me. I know you will. So focus on some plant-based forms of protein, and if you're a vegetarian, then add some eggs. Like, I think eggs are great for just getting that extra little bit of protein in your diet. So that's one of the reasons we don't want you focusing completely on a high protein diet, is because we want you to get enough plants. All right, it's from the plant-based foods, the right plant-based foods, that you get a lot of those antioxidants, those polyphenols, those plant chemicals that really help to, you know, give you those antioxidants that really keep your brain young, keep your DNA young, fight cancer, do all that good stuff. You got to get enough of those plant-based foods. That's the only gripe I have with some of these high protein diets. It's what sort of separates what we teach. We want you to get that nutrition, eat from the rainbow, but we want you to do it in low glycemic. We'll go through that step next. What are the right carbs to eat? Which ones should you avoid? What does the glycemic index mean? But for right now, think of a plate, 30% high quality protein, 70% plant-based foods, okay? The low glycemic, not simple carbohydrates, but plant-based foods. And that's going to give you that balance. And why is it important to focus on quality? Because a lot of people who eat high protein diets end up sacrificing quality, because it's expensive to buy high quality protein, right? It's more expensive than it is to go buy just industrial raised protein. But it's not as good for you for a lot of reasons. It's the animals in those situations are not only raised in horrific situations, but they are eating really poorly. They're being fed things that they don't eat naturally. They're being given antibiotics, and you are eating what the animal ate. So we just want you to eat clean. We want you to think of eating clean. So grass-fed, naturally raised. We'd much rather you eat less protein and get high-quality protein. Plus, it's more humane. So get that high-quality protein, eat less of it several times a day, spread it out. But it's also lower in palmitic acid. Palmitic acid is the one type of saturated fat that is really bad for your heart. So not all saturated fats are really bad. We're discovering that some saturated fats are not, they're not all created equal. Well, palmitic acid is one of the ones that's really bad. And industrial raised meat is 30% higher in palmitic acid. So it's much leaner. When you get grass-fed meat, it's leaner, and it's also lower in that bad saturated fat, significantly lower. So that's what I want you to think about today is don't lose your plants and focus on quality, balances your hormone, decreases inflammation. Okay, we don't want you eating so much protein that you increase inflammation and that stress hormone. Focus on quality. And then shake hands with protein 3 to 4 times a day. Now, what you do, how do you do that? Because some of you are like, well, I eat twice a day. I don't have snacks with me that are protein, right? I eat an apple or whatever. So I just want to show you a couple things. This is the Brain Warriors Way cookbook that we just did, and I marked these pages. I intentionally spent a lot of time putting snacks that are easy for you to have protein throughout the day. I thought about this because people always bring this up to me. I can't get my protein throughout the day. Smoothies. In the morning, smoothies are great. I keep protein powder at the office. It's really easy. You can just add water to it. Those of you who are coffee drinkers, sometimes I throw a scoop of protein in my coffee with a little bit of coconut oil. It's awesome before going to the gym. I just want to show you some of the snacks. Throw an egg into a half of an avocado, put it in a toaster oven for 10 minutes. If you're really in a pinch, and this always gets a lot of controversy, but if you're at work or you're in a pinch, put it in the microwave for a minute. Do I recommend cooking with microwaves all the time? No. Do I prefer it over you going to a drive-thru and getting a Mick whatever fake meat with fillers and sugar in it? Yes. Okay? So it's all about the question compared to what? Is it bad to cook with microwaves or warm something up in a microwave compared to what? Okay, that's my question to you. This is one of my favorites. Coconut avocado protein. So just throw some coconut or throw some avocado, a little bit of coconut oil and milk or butter into a blender with some protein powder. It's amazing, and a little bit of stevia. So all of these snacks, I really thought about this. Some of these you're going to find on my website, tanaamen.com. Some of them you're going to find in the book. They're not all on the website, but there's literally 20 different snack ideas at least, not to mention the smoothies, not to mention, you can just grab leftovers out of your fridge and just take them and drop them on a salad, or coconut wraps, put them in a coconut wrap. But make sure you have those snacks with you throughout the day. That's how you're going to be successful doing this. People still keep writing to me and saying, I can't do it. I can't figure out how to do this and make it work. It's because you're not setting yourself up and thinking ahead on what can I do for snacks. Boil a dozen eggs in the beginning of the week. Okay, so you grab them and go. Today, I was in a really big hurry. My amazing 13-year-old daughter grabbed 2 hard-boiled eggs, smushed them up for me, and brought me an egg salad, right? Sometimes I put those on a coconut wrap, and that's fine. That's plenty. So I hope that helps. Start thinking about your snacks. Make sure you have several a day with you. And that is why I really focused on that for this book. I hope that helps you going into the weekend. I hope you're taking some time to set your week up. We always take a day a week to get set up for the week. That's how you'll be successful. Have a great weekend.